Hey guys, welcome to Bestie. Let's talk episode 1. Oh my god, I am so excited. Bish, can you believe that we're finally here? Like the day is finally here. I am nervous, I am excited, I am scared. Every bit of emotion that you can think of is running through my body right now. But overall, I'm just so ready and I'm so excited to start this new chapter with you. Now let's address the elephant in the room. My voice is a little raspy right now. I'm a little bit under the weather, but it was either I uploaded with a raspy voice or I had to wait another week and a half to upload the first episode. So hopefully for the next episode my voice sounds normal, but here we are, guys. I feel like it's the first day of school whenever you get in a circle with the whole class and the teacher's like, say your name, your hobbies, and like, what did you do this summer? And you're like, that's how I feel right now. I'm so nervous. Obviously, the more episodes that I do, the more comfortable that I would feel. Now, if you're watching it through YouTube, hey, Bestie, you guys can tune on YouTube if you're more like a visual person. You can find me at Bestie Let's Talk Podcast on YouTube, or we are also on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Now, oh my God, I'm excited. I'm ready for the podcast. Since we're speaking of the podcast, let's talk about why it is called Bestie Let's Talk. The reason I decided to name it Bestie Let's Talk, it's because I want this to feel like it's me and you talking, like we're on FaceTime, like we're best friends, besties, right? I also decided to call it Besties Let's Talk because I don't have a lot of friends. And whenever I say that, you guys are always like, hello, are we like invisible or something? And you guys are my friends. You guys are like my virtual friends. But I mean, like, I don't really have any friends that I like go out and like have dinner or have like a drink. Of course, I have like my cousins and I have my bestie, my for lifer, Jason. But I mean, like friends, you know, like you go out with your girlfriends and stuff. I don't really have a lot of friends. And don't let it like sound very depressing because it's not that bad. I made it sound like it was really bad, really sad, but it's not bad, you know. I'm just trying to explain to you why it's called Bestie Let's Talk. So whenever I go to Target, because bitch, who doesn't go to Target, okay? Whenever I go to Target and I buy something and I want to show my best friend the haul, I put it on my Instagram story. You are my bestie. You are my best friend. Whenever I have a question, I ask you. Sometimes I feel like, oh wow, I wish I had like a best friend that I could talk to or tell this to. And I don't. But then there's you. You come in and like, that's why I was like, Bestie, let's talk. So this is why that is the name of the podcast. Now let's break it down a little bit. What is the podcast going to be about? What are we going to talk about in the podcast? So in this podcast, we're going to talk about pretty much anything and everything. Whether you have a question that you've always wanted to ask, but maybe you don't have someone to go to, or whether you just went through a breakup and you need some advice, or whether, you know, you just got out of a toxic friendship and you don't know what to do, or whatever the case is, you guys can always go to my Twitter or to my Instagram podcast, which has Bestie Let's Talk Podcast. Submit your questions there. We can talk about it in the next episode. We'll discuss some topics. We'll discuss some advice, some questions. Or you guys can always message me on my personal Instagram, which is Make It by Pita. Wow, I forgot that for a minute. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about what is the first episode going to be. And the first episode is going to be about me. And the reason I wanted to start the first episode about me is because whenever I talked about the podcast on Instagram, I asked you guys to send me topics or questions that you guys would want to talk about in the podcast. And there was one in particular that really stood out to me. And I don't think she meant it in a bad way. I didn't take it like personal or like, oh my God, like she meant it in a bad way. I took it more of as she's right. And that was like my sign for me to let me know that I was going the right path with the podcast. So she said, I want to know about you. I feel like we know you, but we don't really know you, if that makes any sense. And it made total sense to me. It did. Because I feel like as a quote unquote influencer, we put a lot of our life out there, but we also don't put all of it. Or let me just say me. let me not say we, as in like, I know what everyone else does. Me, myself, and I don't put everything out there because it can be very scary to put your whole life out there, because you have to be very careful with what you say and what you do, because your words can be twisted or people can take it a different way, which is why it's really scary to start a podcast. Like, bitch, I'm scared. But I feel like change is good, and change is not always easy. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready for this podcast. So yes, back to what I was saying. And by the way, I get very distracted. I'm like, ooh, turtle, ooh, something. So bear with me. I'm not the best at like putting all my thoughts together, but with the podcast, I'll learn. So, yes, like I was telling you, I feel like I show you guys a decent amount of my life, but not completely. And so, with this episode, I really wanted to focus on letting you in and telling you a lot about me that I've never told anyone, that none of you guys know. So, I want to talk about who am I? So, I'm Pita, Lupita. I am 24. A lot of you guys always think that I'm like 27, 28, and I'm like, oop, okay. But you guys always tell me it's not like the way that you look, it's like the way that you act, which I can kind of see it, you know? So I am 24. I live in Austin, Texas. I'm born and raised here. I've lived here my entire life. Like, isn't that crazy? And now my kids are here. And as you guys might know me as Makeup by Pita on YouTube, but here I'm just Pita, to be honest. You know what? Let me get a little sip of my little cinnamon tea. I have a little cinnamon tea here, and this will probably help my throat. Wow, that felt so good. Oh yeah, that totally hit different, honestly. So yes, back to what I was saying about me. I have two sons. I have Liam, and Liam is 5. Liam is the sweetest boy ever. He is so sweet. He loves activities. He loves to draw, and he does this thing where he goes outside and he cuts me a lot of little flowers. Whenever I think of him, that's like what I think of. Like, that stands out from him, that he is like the sweetest, and he's such a gentleman, and he's only 5, which really like surprises me. And I feel like those little things is what you're like, oh wow, I feel like I'm low-key doing good at parenting, you know? Because whenever we go out to eat, it's just me and him, because sometimes we just spend time together, me and him. So it's like mommy and son date. He will go and open the door for me, and he says, you first. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, and I tell him, like, you're doing so good. And, you know, I try to heal my inner child with the kids, because I never heard my mom say, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. You're doing so good. How was school today? That's another topic, though. We'll talk about it in another episode. But I always tell him, I'm like, oh my God, you're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. Like, thank you for doing that. And then we have Caden. Caden is a boy. Caden is something else. Caden is a year and 5 months, or should I say 17 months? Bitch, being honest, I never understood why sometimes people are like, oh, they're 18 months. And in my head, I'm like, 18 months. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, a year and 6 months. And I'm like, bitch, just tell me the baby's a year and 6 months. But anyways, yes. So Caden is a year and 5 months. A year and 5 months. And Caden has like an attitude of his own. Like, he really does. If it's either my way or no way. And Caden will be like such a little nugget towards you. And then he'll be like, stare at you, and then he'll go up to you, hug you, and give you a kiss. And then you're like, oh, he's like a Sour Patch. Think about it that way. He's sour and then he's sweet, but he is so adorable. He is my baby. They're both my babies. And then there is Jason. Jason is my husband and baby daddy, boyfriend. That's T. But that's another, we're going to talk about that in another episode. So there's Jason. We've been together for going on, I want to say 8 years. I think we're going into 8 years. Let me see. Yeah, 8 years. About to go into 8 years. Our anniversary is December 25th, which I always tell him joking around. And I'm like, dude, you couldn't find a better day to ask me to be your girlfriend? December 25th, really? Everything is closed. But I always tell him like joking around. So for our anniversary, we really don't go out. We don't do anything. We just stay home. and we just kind of like have dinner, celebrate with the kiddos. We usually try to go out, like I want to say like this as soon as like Christmas is over, but then like New Year's comes in and then we kind of forget. So we kind of just celebrate our anniversary by spending Christmas together, which I don't mind. I actually love Christmas. I am so excited for Christmas this year. I really am, Bish. I am excited for Christmas, let me tell you. Okay, so let's see. I told you about the kiddos, told you about Jason. And then let's talk about siblings. You guys always ask me, Pita, do you have siblings? Like, we never see your siblings. I do have siblings. I have an older sister. I have my older brother. Then there's me. And then there's the baby, which he's no longer a baby because he's 17. But there's four of us. And then with my dad, from my dad's other marriage, I have step siblings. And let's see. I gotta count these because I think six step siblings from my dad's other marriage, which whenever I see them, I tell them hi. I treat them like if they were my siblings, like, you know, like, hi, how you doing? We talk for a little bit. We're definitely not close, but we still get along. And whenever I see them, I tell them hi and everything. So yeah, there's that. I have my siblings, and then I don't really show my siblings on camera because they like their privacy, and I respect that because I know the internet can be pretty scary, you know, and not everyone has tough skin. And if you ever plan on going into social media, you need to have a tough skin. But again, another topic we're going to talk about in another episode. But I am close to my siblings. We do talk. I think the one that I talk to the most is definitely my sister. And then my older brother, I definitely do talk to him as well. But there is like a age gap between me and him. But we still get along. Every time I see him, dude, he cracks me up. His laugh makes me laugh, to be honest. Like, the joke might not even be funny, but just hearing him laugh makes me laugh. And then we have the youngest one, which whenever I want to like send him a TikTok or something, I send it to him. And he's like the one that understands the joke because he's like, I guess you could be like the Gen Z of the family. So he can be pretty mean sometimes, but I know he still loves me deep down inside. And then there's my parents. I get that question a lot, because you guys are like, you never show your parents either. Like, you're very, like, I guess, closed when it comes to your family. And the reason I don't show my parents is because also my parents are very reserved. Like, they don't like to be put on social media. And again, I totally get it. And also, my mom is very Mexican. Like, I was born and raised in a Mexican household. So she'll be like, don't show me in camera. Like, I don't like that kind of stuff. That's not me. And like, da 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 da. And like, all this stuff. So I respect her. I don't really show her on camera, I think, at all, to be honest. And then my dad is also the same way. He doesn't really like to be shown on social media or anything like that. I definitely do think the one between my mom and my dad, I'm definitely the most close is to my dad. I for sure am daddy's little girl ever since I was little. Of course, I still talk to my mom almost every single day, but my dad, he'll like wake me up to a message every single morning, like, hi, good morning, and like all this stuff. So I'm definitely daddy's little girl. I love both of them as equal. And I also don't really show my parents because my parents are not together, they're separate. I wouldn't say divorced because they were never married, but they separated when I want to say 18. I believe 18. When they separated, they decided they didn't want to be anymore together. And that took a toll on me. There's a lot of things that I don't really talk about. Oh gosh, here we go. Here we go, fish. Let me drink a little bit of the tea because the tea's about to spill. Ooh. It's still hard for me to talk about it. And it's been almost 6 years. Oh wow, they've been separated for 6 years. It's still a fresh wound to me because I know I was 18 when they decided to call it quits, but I think at that moment I felt like a child. It's hard for me because I don't get to spend Christmas with both of my parents. So, sorry. I said I wasn't gonna cry, yet here I am. Oh, I didn't even bring a tissue. And I laugh because whenever I tend to get nervous or I'm like put on the spot, I try to make jokes out of everything. Okay, I gathered myself. It's fine. I don't ever get to spend Christmas, Thanksgiving, the special holidays with my whole family. So if, you still have both of your parents and you celebrate New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving with both of your parents, please know that you're very lucky and blessed to have both of them. Because even though they're still here with me, I don't get to spend the holidays with both of them in one same room. I think what really hurts the most when I talk about that is that my kids don't get to celebrate holidays with both of their grandparents. So they don't have a picture with both of their grandparents. It's always just a picture with my mom or a picture with my dad, never with both. Of course, I'll go more into detail about my parents and how I feel, how I felt, really open up to you guys. But I think for that one, we'll leave it when I tell you guys when I found out I was pregnant. That's another topic. I'm over here concerned if I might have mascara running down my eyes, but I don't know if I do. So since I was telling you right now, I feel like that would be a great way for me to insert. What was that? That was my accent. I'm sorry. It would be a great way for me to insert about the pregnancy. I got pregnant when I was 17. And I think I've told this story about how I found out I was pregnant, but there's a lot of details that I didn't share, and a lot of details that you guys are going to be like, wait, what? And I got pregnant when I was 17 with Liam. And again, that'll be for another topic. I think I want to do how I found out I was pregnant for the next episode, and I want to bring in my special guest, Jason, for that. Jason's excited for the podcast. Let me tell you, he's been a huge help. He's been helping me so much with the podcast, the setup, everything, and I'm excited for him to join us in the next episode. But yes, now let's talk a little bit more about me. Now that I covered those topics and everything, I feel like we had a little sad moment there. But okay, I always like to feel and, make everyone feel happy. So let's talk about something a little bit more exciting. Let's talk about me. Oh, not me being like self-conceited. Let's talk about me. But let's talk a little bit about me and what's been going on with me. Because here I want to be 100% open with you guys and transparent and just tell you how I've been feeling. I want to tell you a little bit more about me and like what I like to do in my free time, what I do when I'm not filming, when I'm not on Instagram stories, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so what are my hobbies? I love to dance. Love to dance. I haven't taken a dance class though in years. I used to be in the high school drill team. Yes, I was, bitch. Yes, I was. Was I the best dancer? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. I was not the best dancer in the drill team, but did I have fun? Absolutely, yes, I did. I had a lot of fun. I loved it. I loved the football games. I never knew what touchdown meant. I never understood what was going on. I would just if I would see everyone cheer, I'd be like, yeah. I never knew. Someone has to teach me how football works because to this day, I have no idea. But I loved being in the drill team. I loved having a bond with the girls, having something to look forward to go to school and all that. So I love to dance. I need to sign up for a dance class very soon though, because I feel like I'm going to be a little rusty when I go to a class, and I feel like I need to put my little moves back in practice. And then what else? I love to read. But you know what I've noticed? I feel like I've noticed that I'm better of a hearing person. So, for example, Audible and all that kind of stuff, I feel like that functions better for me because I just listen as I'm doing chores. But I want to get better at just sitting down and reading a book because I feel like that would be good for me to just go outside, sip on some coffee, and, read 1 or 2 pages of the book a day. And I feel like reading helps you with your vocab. I need a lot of help with my vocab because I feel like I'm better at my Spanish than my English, but practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. So I love to read. And, if I'm being honest with you, you guys probably noticed that I've been really inactive on my social medias, on Instagram and, all that stuff. And you notice, because y'all notice everything. Let me tell you, y'all notice everything. And I really haven't been active on my social medias because, to be honest, bitch, I haven't been feeling myself. And I also want to let you know that if you ever feel like this, you're not alone. You're probably not the only one that feels a certain way. And that's happened to me before. And I had to take some time off to really find myself again. And I think this happens because I'm getting older. Like I'm 24. I'm going to be 25 in April. And you start really realizing a lot of things about yourself. You start evolving as a person. Maybe certain things that you don't like them anymore. So I feel like at this moment, I have learned a little bit more about myself that I didn't know before. And as each day passes by, I'm finding myself more and more and more and more. And I feel like I just owed you an explanation because I, would post every day and then poof, just kind of went to like not posting really. And, you know, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was, what is that thing called? Mercury and Mars? Or I'm not really good at astrology, but everyone always blames it like, oh yeah, it's Mercury on something. That's why I'm feeling like that. Mood, same here. But I don't know what happened. Like, one day I just woke up and I was like, I just wasn't something like a switch. I don't know how to explain it. I didn't have motivation to work out. To be honest, bitch, I haven't worked out in a hot minute. I haven't. And that makes me sad, like me personally, because working out makes me feel so good. Like whenever I wake up and I work out early in the morning, I feel like I can conquer the whole fucking world. I'm like, I am ready for today. Bring it on. Give it to me. I'm ready. And whenever I wake up like after 7 and I didn't work out, I'm like, fuck. My day's going to be shitty. It's already going to be a bad day. But I'm learning to not do that. I'm learning to, be like, it's okay. It's okay. Not everything is perfect. Good days, bad days. And then I'm like, we woke up after 7. It's a little late. We didn't work out, but hey, we're breathing. We're alive. It's a beautiful day outside. Ooh, I breathe in and out, put on some little jams, and I start dancing, and suddenly my day is better. And I'm telling you this because if you're going through something like this, I don't want you to feel like you're the only one. And, I'm trying to take baby steps how to find myself again. And when I do, I'll make a whole episode telling you this is what I did. And, I'm learning with time. I feel like I'm not 100% lost. I found a lot of new things that I love to do, a lot of things that genuinely make me happy. And I think being a mom can be very hard. And I have to learn to accept help. And I say this because I feel like I work and then I dedicate time to the kiddos, try to spend time with the kids, also try to spend time with Jason, and also try to clean the house. And like, of course, Jason helps me. He does. He will like, babe, I hope you do this. I hope you do that. But my issue is that I want things done by myself. And that's something that I'm working on. Because he'll be like, I'll do this. And like, he'll do it. And then I'll be like, oh, he didn't do it right. And then I catch myself fixing it. So it's like if I would have still done it. Because you know what I mean? So I'm learning to, just breathe out and just accept it. That not everything in my house is going to be perfect because I hate seeing a mess in the house. I really do, bestie. And the thing is, let's say, for example, I have an hour to work out. And if I see that the house is a mess, I'm like, no, I'll just clean instead of working out. And I have to learn to be like, it's okay if my house is a mess sometimes. I have to spend time for myself. I've just feel like I have put everyone and everything in front. And then myself is at the very end. And I'm learning that it's okay for me to be selfish from time to time. And I've discovered a couple of things about myself that genuinely make me happy, and I want to share them with you. So I learned and I'm learning that I have to spend time for just myself. So I'm trying to wake up super early in the morning so I can have just like 1 hour or 2 hours for myself to like work out, read, all that kind of stuff. But I'm also learning what makes me like me, not me as a mom, not me as Make by Pita, not me as Jason's partner, but like me. What makes Pita happy? And going to the farmer's market, there's, bish, you probably thought something. I was going to say something else. And then there's me, farmer's market. Something about going to the farmer's market brings me so much joy. Walking into a Central Market or Whole Foods, bish, it might sound weird, but seeing colorful fruit so well organized, and there's just something about going to the farmer's market on Sunday that is so therapeutic for me, and it brings me so much joy. Coming home, washing my veggies, putting them in my colanders, sitting outside, eating fresh. Oh my God, it makes me so happy. It really does. Making my coffee early in the morning and drinking it outside, watching the sunrise just hits different. Going to a cafe shop and ordering some iced coffee, trying different cafes from like iced coffees from cafes makes me so happy. It really does. And I'm learning like the little things that genuinely make me happy. And I think they're changing because I'm getting older. Like, I'm changing as a woman, I'm evolving and like all this stuff. So those are a couple things that I've learned that really make me happy. And, just I think it was last week, I hanged out with my cousin and we went for a jog downtown, and it felt so good. It was sprinkling, it was foggy, the birds were chirping. It was like a good 70 degrees outside, and it felt so good. And I was like, oh my God, I need to start doing this. And I'm like, you know what? Once in a while, it's good to just listen to a good podcast, listen to a good song, go get some coffee, go for a walk, go for a run. Just stand there, close your eyes, and breathe in the fresh morning air. And there's something about it that just makes me so happy. It really does. And those are some of the things that I've been learning about myself, and also working out makes me so happy. It really does. So I'm trying to get a little bit better at making time for myself. And I don't want you guys to think like, oh, Jason doesn't help you. Like, he does, guys. He helps me a lot. Jason is my right hand. Oh, what would I do without him? He is a huge help. So I feel like it's just going to take some time to really focus on myself. But I just want to let you know that, if you feel like you've lost yourself, it's okay. You're not the only one. And if you're a mom and sometimes you feel overwhelmed, sometimes you feel like you're just like, oh my God, like I just want 5 minutes to myself. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a little selfish and, telling your husband or your mom or someone to watch your kids for a couple of hours while you get a massage, while you get your nails done, while you hit the gym for like 2 hours. There's nothing wrong with that, because I feel like as moms, sometimes we forget to put ourselves first. We put everyone in front of us, and then at the end, there's us. And I just want to let you know that this is your sign to go get your nails done, go get a massage, go get a drink with the girls, go for a brunch with someone that you know. Dedicate some me time to you. But okay, I feel like that was a little bit sad. It was a little bit like too intense, but I wanted to share that with you, and if you have a question or a topic, or you want to talk about something, again, guys, Instagram, my personal one, the Twitter for the podcast, the Instagram account for the podcast, send a DM, tweet the question, tweet the topic, whatever it is, and we can talk about it at the end of each episode, or we can dedicate like a full episode towards that. And I want to bring Jason as a guest because I know a lot of you guys told me that you wanted like a second person as like an opinion to like hear second thoughts and like all that stuff. So for the next episode, you guys would definitely see Jason in the other chair sitting down, and it should be interesting because Jason is a goofball. So we'll see how that episode goes. And then speaking of like Instagram, since we were talking about the topic, I get so distracted and I need to learn how to gather my thoughts. But you guys will probably see me more active like on social media with you guys. I feel like Instagram is where I'm like the most active on my stories. I really like the thing that I noticed that I did and that I was like, oh, yeah, there's something off that's with me is when I started opening up Instagram to post on my stories, and I'll be like, I would record, and then I'll be like, I don't think they're going to find this interesting. I think I'm going to bore them. Yeah, no. And I would delete the story and I wouldn't post it. And then I did it again. And then I would do it again and again and again. And I was like, oh, Pita. And the moment that I realized that I started second guessing myself, I was like, fuck. We got to stop this. We really do. We really do, Pita. Because I feel like I was like, what are people going to say? And I'm like, and I think I've came to the realization that I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to post it. I'm going to post it, whatever, and I'm just going to be myself. So yeah. Also, I'm going to start to do lives more often. I was also like not doing lives anymore because like this Instagram update thing that Instagram updated on like the lives where I would do therapy. Oh, speaking of therapy, bish, hello. We're going to incorporate therapy here. I'm going to try to do it at least once a month, and we'll dedicate like a whole episode to therapy. This new update that they did, like the questions aren't anonymous anymore. And if you used to watch my therapy, you know that it was anonymous, So I want to start going live more often with you guys. I have like all this PR makeup that gets sent to me. So I want to start like reviewing the makeup with you guys, like on lives and just randomly going live with you guys like I used to do it back then. So yeah, that's that. And it feels good. It feels good to have the podcast. I really hope you guys like it. Let me know your feedback through Instagram, DMs. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know here through the comment section. If you're listening through Spotify or Apple Podcasts, send me a DM on my Instagram. Let me know what you think. What is some feedback that you will give me? I can take criticism, so, don't hesitate letting me know. Honestly, I don't think there's anything else I wanted to talk about. I don't. Except that I'm excited for Christmas. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. I bet you that if you're listening through Spotify, you really thought that was like an ad, but it wasn't. It's me. Hello. I am just so excited for Christmas. Like, I really am. I'm excited for Christmas because, okay, let's talk. We're best friends, right? We talk about anything and everything. So for Christmas, the last 2 years, I did neutral colors. My tree was red and gold. I think those were like the theme colors for my Christmas tree. And let me get comfy. And I did natural neutral colors for the past 2 years. And I'm really into like McGee vibes from Target, Magnolia from Target, CB2, like all those vibes, very modern, very neutral colors. But then I started talking to Jason and I was like, do you remember Christmas? And the conversation came up because we went to a Christmas store and they had like a whole bunch of little ornaments. And some of the ornaments were like those ornaments made out of wool. I think that's how you pronounce it. And some were like knitted. They were really cute. They looked like very vintage ornaments. And I was like, do you remember your Christmas? He said, yeah. And I was like, what was your Christmas like? He was telling me, and I was like, my Christmas was always very colorful. We didn't grow up with a lot of money. So my mom had this Christmas tree that the branch wasn't even like actual, it wasn't like actual leaves. It was like this little type of paper material that it was like so it was such a cheap Christmas tree, but my mom made it look so beautiful with ornaments and like that silver star that everyone knows. It's like silver and it has like not LED lights, but it has like the Christmas lights on the star. You know which one I'm talking about. And she also would use this garland that had like red and like silver. It was like very metallically, very shiny. And she would wrap it around the tree. She would put nutcrackers and like she had a big Santa Claus. And my Christmas was colorful. And my Christmas always felt cozy. They weren't the most luxurious Christmas party, but it always felt cozy, and they're Christmases that I would never forget. So Jason told me the same thing. He's like, that's how my Christmas was, so colorful. And I was like, have you noticed that like now for Christmas, they're starting to do more of like neutral colors, not so much color. Like you rarely see Santa's face on something. Like now it's more like Mickey vibes, more neutral, like, aesthetically pleasing. And I told Jason, I was like, I don't want that this year. I don't want it. I want colorful, vintage looking Christmas. Like that's what I want. And I remember last year with our Christmas tree, Liam would turn on the Christmas lights, colorful. And then I would change them whenever he would go to sleep to white because it'll look more aesthetically pleasing to me. And then he'll wake up and he changed it. And that also made me realize that this year, the kids' Christmas, they're going to love it. I bought them this huge little Santa Claus thingy that it's like, it's kind of hideous to be honest, but it's cute. It's really cute. And also for the ornaments, I think I'm going to do like a whole bunch of ornaments and like, my house might look tacky this year, but I know the kids are going to love it. And I bought like a whole bunch of plates that have Santa's face on it. And I'm going to put cookie jars and we're going to bake a lot this year. And I'm also ready to start traditions with the boys. Growing up, I didn't have traditions. I'm telling you, I'm healing my inner child through the kiddos. And growing up, we didn't really have traditions. I don't ever think we actually sat down and had like Christmas dinner. I think we always had like tamales, champurrado, and like, but everyone would like eat everywhere because we had like Christmas parties. But I want to like sit down, all four of us, have dinner for Christmas, open our gifts, wake up the kids with cookies and like Christmas music, like Home Alone type of vibes. That's what I want. And, I want to start these little traditions with the kiddos and like all this stuff. So, oh, bish, I'm excited for Christmas. And I know I'm not the only one. Everyone was telling me like, are you going to skip Thanksgiving? I'm not skipping Thanksgiving. I'm skipping Thanksgiving decor, but we're still going to celebrate Thanksgiving. And we're going to jump straight into Christmas decor because I'm excited. So I think I'm going to take out everything that I have in the garage next week or this upcoming weekend to see what I have and then start decorating the second week of November. Let me know if I'm the only one that's already decorating for Christmas. But that is the end of the first episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Again, let me know what you think. Did you enjoy the first episode? The second episode, like I told you, I'm going to talk about my teen pregnancy, how I found out I was pregnant, how my parents reacted, that affect our relationship. Talk about a lot of things that I never said when I said how I found out I was pregnant and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I hope you guys are ready for that. That's going to be an interesting one. If you guys are watching through YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the little bell so you can get notified every single time that I post a new video. Remember, guys, a new episode every Thursday. If you're listening through Spotify or through Apple Podcasts, don't forget to follow so you can get notified whenever I post a new podcast. I love y'all so much. It felt so good to just sit here and just talk to you and just catch up and let you know about everything. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next Thursday, bestie. Love you.